Okay, so let's have the shop plant layout. So plant layout includes the physical arrangement of industrial facilities and the physical and even psychological factors which affect directly or indirectly the well-being and efficiency of employees and or workers. Okay, so when we speak of plant layout, so this is like the blueprint, in which in that blueprint we will see the overall arrangement of everything inside the shop. Okay, so it will be the guide for everyone who is part of that organization to see to it where are the different areas assigned. Okay, so in that way, it will be organized the the members or the employees of that shop will be aware where to go, of the whereabouts. Like for example, if the employees are aware of this plant layout, at least in case of emergency, they know where to go or to exit. Okay, so we made mention here of psychological factors. So question, why is it that plant layout now, there is this impact when it comes to psychological factors? Well, of course, psychological factors because that is the place where we work. So we should consider the plant layout for us to be assured of our safety, so psychological, for everyone inside that working area to feel secured. And of course, like what I've said a while ago, they will be aware of the places, the different departments inside that working station. So, and of course, it affect directly or indirectly the well-being. So how about this? It affect directly or indirectly the well-being of those individuals that are part of that particular shop. Because of course, like for example, the arrangement, if the arrangement is organized, then of course the individuals can do efficiently their job because there are no disturbances, nothing to, there is no distractors in their working area. So that is why the layout or the arrangement directly or indirectly affect the well-being and efficiency of employees or workers. So that is why it is important that there should be this shop plant layout for everything to run smoothly inside. Because when we speak of running smoothly, then the impact of this is of course efficiency. And when we speak of efficiency again, that means to say that we are not putting our effort, energy, any resources in doing our work because everything is arranged. So basic objectives of a plant layout: to assign enough space for the different areas, to facilitate the flow of work. So this is what I kept on telling a while ago, that if everything is arranged, then everyone inside the working station can do their work smoothly. To make the arrangement flexible, to create a good working environment which promotes efficiency and raises morale in the plant. Why it raises morale in the plant? Because of course, if you are doing your job well, then it raises your morale because you are proud that you were able to do your you were able to accomplish your work. To maximize the use of available spares effectively, to provide overall integration of all the factors affecting the layout. Okay, so the need for a layout plan. Several conditions might dictate the making of a layout study. First, if there's a need to change the plant layout to conform to the revised work procedure or flow, shifting workloads, changes in program, organization, and functions or responsibilities. If there is a need to determine the adequacy of space currently available to accommodate additional personnel or equipment. If there is a need to determine the space requirement of the various components of an organization in order to assign locations and areas in a new building or site. Fourth, if there are difficulties encountered in the present layout and that there is a consensus that it is improper. So these are the several conditions that will tell us that there is a need to revise, to redesign the layout or the arrangement of a shop. Okay, and the last, if there is a need to improve substandard environmental conditions, such as the need for a new design of outlet for waste materials, sunlight, water, and others, which if not changed would adversely affect the whole operation. Well, of course, we don't want that to happen. So as early as possible, if there is really a need now to improve everything in the shop, then let's do it, because because if you're not going to do it, then it will sacrifice now everything that you put in that shop. Okay, so it's something like do not wait for worse to happen. Okay, so types of layout: layout by fixed position, layout by process, layout by products. Actually, there are 4 types of layout. The last layout is the combination, because it's just like the types of organizational structure. Like what I've said, there is no one best structure, organizational structure. So same here with the types of layout. There's no best layout, but the best layout is the layout that is suited to to the situation, or making sure that it considers the different factors. Okay, so here are the different factors influencing a plant layout. Okay, so first we have the material factor. It refers to the design, variety, quantity, necessary operations, and their sequence. These are the raw materials, which are the main input. Okay, so in one of the factors influencing a plant layout is the material factor. The question is why? Why this is one of the factors? Because of course, in plant layout, we need to consider what should be the design in that particular room, in which in that room we are putting there the different materials to be used in our shop. For our shop, in which these materials are very important, because these are the things that we use in doing the operation. Okay, so the second is the machinery factor. The producing equipment and tools and their utilization. So make sure that in a plant layout, we need to consider what are, so the designer need to be aware what is that plant layout for. What are what are the materials? The next thing to be asked is what are the machines used? what are the machines to be used in this kind of shop, so that it will be given room for that. Like for example, you will be using a big machine, and then in your design is just a small room. So can how can you maximize that room if the machine is not suited to that room? Okay, so the third is the man factor. This includes the workers under labor, the supervisors under supervision, service, and health extended. So here, manufacturer, in making a plant layout, we need to consider the different rooms, the different offices of the of, of that shop. Who are the persons? What are their positions? What are their tasks? So what should be the office look like? So that's why manufacturers also one of the factors influencing a plant layout. Take note, as we define plant layout, it is the arrangement of the shop that affects the psychological part, and in which it also directly or indirectly affects the efficiency of the worker. So here comes the movement factor. It includes and intra-departmental transport and handling the various operations, storages, and inspection. So why do we have a plant layout again? Because if we are doing our job smoothly, then it boosts the morale of the individual. So movement factor, if the individuals inside the shop can do their job smoothly because they can move freely, easily in that shop, then they really can accomplish their job efficiently. The next is waiting factor. What is this? This includes permanent and temporary storage and delays. So in plant layout, we also need to consider a room for this. Like for example, not all the time, not every day that all of the supplies will be used. So what if there's there are some materials or machines that needs to be stored or needs to be inspected before inspection. So you cannot just put it right away in place in the, like for example, in the operation, in the room where it should run. No, if it's not yet inspected, then you cannot put it in place. So you should have this waiting factor. Okay, like for example, the products. You cannot deliver all the products. So there should be a place for that. Because if you are going to just put it in a room in which it's not for that room, then maybe we really cannot avoid that in some circumstances. Like for example, it will be used in some of the workers will be unaware and will be using those products in some of their work. Okay, so the last is the service factor. The number 6 rather is service factor deals on features relating to men, materials, and machinery. So service factor now is the place or the room wherein the different services are being provided. And number 7, the building factor, external and internal building features, utility distribution, and equipment. So number 8, change factor includes versatility, flexibility, and expansion. So change factor, for the change factor, this is now in deciding a plant layout, we need to consider some flexibility. Like for example, if that particular room would not be used the designer should be futuristic. That if that, like for example, there is this growth when it comes to the product, because it's because your product because the product of the shop is already in demand. So the design is flexible to be expanded. Okay. So principles of plant layout. So we have here the principle of minimum movement. So as far as possible, materials and labor should be moved over minimum distances. This is to save time, because of course, if we can save time, at least we can do a lot. Principle of flow, the work area should be arranged according to the sequence of operations so that there is continuous flow of materials without congestion. The layout should allow for easy movement of materials without interruption or delay. So the design should be like there are no distractors. The workers can walk freely, okay, can walk without disturbances. Okay, so principles of space, all available cubic space should be effectively used both vertically and horizontally. So as much as possible, okay, so okay, number 4 is principle of safety. There should be consideration for safety and convenience of workers. Again, plant layout affects the psychologically the workers. So make sure that in making the design, we need to consider the safety of the workers. So there should be built-in provision for the safety and comfort. They will not feel that the working area is a place that it will make them burn out. It will make them like super stressed. So the ambience should look like that